Culture is about delivering performance and having a great culture. You have to have those two. You can't have a great culture that doesn't deliver on performance. You can't have delivering on performance without having some semblance of culture. Neither one is sustainable. Smash those together, we'll call them organizational health. That's why culture is important. And so through those conversations, I wrote a culture change handbook because I saw that there were some core frameworks that people were missing as they tried to navigate change. So there's 4 different components. I call it the ACES model. There's align. You need to align as a leadership team. You need to understand and appreciate the different personalities that are there, how you're hardwired, and you have to be able to communicate and problem solve as a team. More often than not, most leaders struggle with change because they jump into the change aspect without aligning with their teammates. Communication and problem solving. Once you have that down, then you can move to the next phase, which is clarity. Clarity means that you say, here's the culture that we want. It's going to enable our strategy, and together the merging of those two is going to deliver our results, and it's going to keep the people we want to keep here. You don't want to lose anybody that you wouldn't want to lose. You don't mind losing people who aren't a part of the culture. I mean, that's another challenge. Most leaders let people stay on the bus too long. You got to cut bait quick enough, but not too quick, so there's a dynamic tension between there. So getting clarity on what this culture is and what it is not. More often than not, leaders identify this is what the culture is. But a lot of times employees and other leaders translate it differently. So the best advice I can give you tactically is to create guardrails. This is what the culture is, this is what it is not, and we are somewhere navigating in here. If you don't leave guardrails, somebody could say, hey, look, I think it's great on Neptune. You say, I didn't want to go to Neptune, we're talking about California here. So guardrails help to enable this space, freedom and autonomy within this space to shape what that clarity or that culture is to be. And then what you need to do is you need to engage others in that process. Engaging others could mean that you take a cross-section of folks and determine, hey, what are the low-hanging fruit that we can focus on? Where are the things that we can create tangible results? Because the more we focus on the strategic first actions, we can overcome the embedded resistance to change that's in each one of us, and it's in your small team or within your entire organization. So I think about, how do we overcome the resistance? Well, we get enough momentum with the strategic first actions, low-hanging fruit, whatever that may be, to overcome that initial resistance. And if we can make that work, you're in great shape. The last part is sustainability. And sustainability is really about, I think, having culture teams embedded in there who are creating listening mechanisms to find out what's really going on at the grassroots level. Employees know. They should be the impetus behind the change. They should be driving what continuous improvement looks like. And if they're not a part of it, they're going to be apart from it, and they're going to mentally quit long before they physically quit. So the key is you need to get aligned as a leadership team so that you can get clarity. Once you have that clarity on the culture and the strategy and how that will enable the business, then you can focus on engaging others in that process. Because you've been processing and you've been thinking about it for so long, but other people are still way behind on the roadmap. So they need to catch up. And to give them ownership and exposure and feeling fulfilled, like this is a different aspect that I would never have at a different job, they become raving fans. They become advocates of this work. And as a part of that, they create great listening mechanisms for you to be able to modify and tweak that strategy into the future. Listening mechanisms, gaining feedback, having those one-on-one conversations, skip-level conversations, are all great tactics for you to drive that hero culture.